So we have some fun, exciting news that Jagmeet Singh and AOC are going to be on Twitch together tomorrow playing Among Us with Hassan, one of the biggest Twitch streamers, as well as other people, including friend of this show, Lance from the Serfs. It's going to be absolutely epic. It's going to be at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. I have the link in the description to Jagmeet's new Twitch profile. Go follow him. Be a supporter. It's going to be great. But I want to talk for a few minutes about why I think this is important. Because again, I've noted this before. AOC's first Twitch stream, the one that got hundreds of thousands of viewers, one of the biggest Twitch streams in history, and I think certainly the biggest Twitch stream of a debut, the biggest debut Twitch stream probably ever. It was important because it brought people together to have fun, but with an issue behind it. It was both about chilling, having a good time, hanging out, but also about getting people to vote and think about the issues that matter to them. And it wasn't exclusively a young audience, but it was largely a young, progressive, diverse audience that needed to be mobilized to help defeat Donald Trump. And I think they succeeded in building this really great moment that could, lead to other things. And I think showing people that you can have fun and still be political and still be principled is absolutely crucial. But this in particular, I think, is very important because there is not enough cross-border solidarity among the left in Canada and the United States. There needs to be far more of it. And I think that this could be a little bit of a seed that could sprout into something more meaningful. Now, on its own, it's just, AOC and Jagmeet and some others playing video games. It might amount to nothing. And it's just, a fun little thing. So you might say, well, why are you trying to derive this greater significance? But the point is, if you build these connections, and connections don't always have to be through super serious, very, very policy ideologically based arguments and debates and what have you, if you build these linkages, even if they're social and for fun, you can nurture these relationships. And the Canadian left and the American left have a lot of commonalities, and we need one another. People like myself and David Dole have talked about this. For instance, in the United States, the left has to deal with, enemies on the center, but also on the right. And here in Canada, we have the same thing. AOC and Bernie and the squad, they have to not only fight Trump and Mitch McConnell and the Republican ghouls in the House and Senate, but they also have to fight a disingenuous, status quo loving, lying to voters, Democratic establishment, typified by Schumer and Pelosi and Biden and these types. And they like to paint themselves as, pragmatic progressives, but they serve the financial and political and social, elite of that country. And here in Canada, we have the same thing, right? We have a conservative party that just doesn't often even try to hide being awful. But then you have a fake progressive party like Justin Trudeau's Liberals that will often pretend to be progressive and trick a lot of people. But then when it comes time to actually put the chips down and fight for workers, fight, against tax cuts for the rich, fight for tax increases on the rich, fight for meaningful climate change policy, they're nowhere to be found. You have Justin Trudeau who will kneel at a protest for Black Lives Matter, but will do absolutely nothing to fight police prejudice against Black and Indigenous Canadians. He'll do nothing. It's all about symbolism and not action. And so Jagmeet Singh fighting against that in Canada and AOC as an emerging leader of the left fighting against that in the USA, them coming together is a great potential sign for this growing relationship. And again, we need one another. I mean, the U.S. often looks to Canada and says, Canada has this really great healthcare system. And I don't want to deny that it's better than what the U.S. has. But one challenge for us in Canada is that as long as you guys don't even have something of a medical system that works, you don't even have universal single payer healthcare at all, we can't improve our healthcare here. We can't improve it. We can't, for instance, add pharmacare or dental care to it because a lot of Canadians will be content in saying the US is bad. We're just a half step better. That's good enough for me. And, Canadians, looking to the left in the US, you guys, despite the fact that there's this perception that, the American left is so much further behind the Canadian left, in some ways it is in terms of being able to win elections. But the problem is you guys have actually been much more energetic. And there's been a lot more grassroots movement of the left in the US than in Canada in recent years. And I think we have a lot to learn from people like AOC and Bernie Sanders. And frankly, that includes people in the NDP that need to learn something from AOC and how she integrates having fun with political activism and organization. So I am really looking forward to this. I know it's just a fun little thing, but this could be a very important moment in the building of the North American left. I'll be watching, and who knows, maybe a year or two from now, we'll look back on this as a really big moment.